Hey there guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another map guide in Call of Duty Cold War, of course. Today we are taking a look at the fantastic new addition to the game, which is of course Express. I mean, I didn't realize just how good of a map Express was until I started playing this when it did get added, and I'm like, man, Express has just been missing from my life for so long. It's been massively popular, and it's just a good map. Anyway, of course, as we go on here today, we're going to be looking for little tips, little tricks, little spots that we can sit in, basically finding different little ways to make Express even better for you guys, best spots and stuff like that as well. And I know what probably some of you are thinking as well. Why didn't they make this 80s themed? Well, this is what the bullet train looked like in the 1980s in Japan, and this is what it looks like in the game. So don't worry about it too much, just ignore that. And I'm sure this technology was available, like moving train doors and stuff like that. Don't worry about that. Anyway, of course, we do have the A flag on this side of the map, the B flag in the middle, and the C flag, of course, over all the way over there. This, of course, little box thing here is also very important in this map, and we'll talk about that more in a second, but we're just going to go back over to the A flag and have a little conversation about that. So starting off with the A flag here, one of the most simple spots that you can go with is, of course, jumping up onto this box here and then onto the train, and then, of course, into this little platform here, and then you can see across here, across there, to the doorway, and you can always take it down here as well. This is a fairly common spot that you will see, like claymores, bouncing betties, and stuff like that as well, so just be aware of that if you are coming up these stairs. And of course, on the other side as well, there's another set of stairs that are very similar. Just keep that in mind. There'll probably be something up there guarding the people who are waiting in this spot here. There is, of course, a nice little burb there. You can do bad things to him if you'd like. Of course, you can just walk up to the front of the train and jump that way as well. But for the most part, this is all about this spot here, using this spot to sort of peek into the B flag and then sort of jump down maybe. Hold the inside of the train carriage, which you can go into, of course. You can sort of make your way around here, keep an eye on that spot, keep an eye back there, push out. But otherwise, there isn't really super lots back here to work with. Like, for the most part, there isn't any super long lines aside or anything like that that are like really goofy. You can always see through the back there, down that little ramp there, and of course take this position to see people peeking up over the top there. Most of the time, people will run up to these trash cans and try and get a nice little head glitch. They'll come up on you here and sit here, and then sit here, peek out like that. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Of course, people will usually sit on these trash cans as the head glitches here. Of course, this is very common. On both sides, people will sit there, here, and here, of course. Basically waiting for people to walk into these spots. So if you do think you know somebody is going to be on these spots, maybe just pre-fire them because you might actually be able to get a couple little shots in them before they know that you're there. You can, of course, jump from there and onto the train as well. But again, we don't really need to worry about ourselves with that too much. Of course, we come over onto the right-hand side. Again, we can enter the train if we do prefer here. And so we can see back onto that spot there. We can see all the way back through there onto those stairs that are down there. See the hallways. And of course the B flag here as well. You will get shot if you are sitting in these windows, though. You will get taken out if you are sitting here, so keep that in mind. Of course, we can jump up onto this box here and then into the window, which is very nice. That applies to both sides as well. Jump up onto here, jump up into the window. This is very good for outplaying people. I had a situation where I was running this way and I saw a dude who was trying to shoot me and went into there. So basically all I did was fake going into here, jump up here, jump up here. He didn't know, I think, that you could jump up into this window. Then I came back down here and he was just sitting waiting in this corner here to get taken out very easily by me. There is, however, if you do come from this side, a ladder to get up here, which you will see betties and everything here in this particular spot as well. So keep that in mind if you are trying to climb up this ladder. It's probably usually better to just jump up here. You can, of course, jump onto the train from that particular spot as well if you want to just come up there. Jump out the window, or even just jump up onto the box and then jump up onto the train as well. You can do that. Again, the train is fairly important. It does let you cut in between lanes. Most times people will just run down this lane without actually like being interested in what is coming out of here. So if you are sitting in this spot and you do see someone run past, just peek out, get a kill, and then run back in and maybe flank around the other side. Because of course the spawning is back here, and then of course on the left hand side as well. These are fairly symmetrical maps in terms of the actual design. Like, most of the parts that actually exist are the same for both sides. I mean, there's some little changes, but for the most part, it's pretty much entirely the same on both sides. So if we come down here as well, you can jump up on this as well and then get back onto that train there. You do have a fairly long line of sight back here, also seeing back into there, so you can maybe stick like a Betty or a Claymore to block that off line of sight there, and then hold this and snipe from back here if you do prefer. This is a fairly decent long shot spot, so if you are trying to get long shots, you can maybe sit back here. Hopefully that is far enough away depending on your weapon type. But again, come up onto the side here. This is very similar to the other side as well. The two trash cans. This is a very well designed symmetrical map, so it does feel very good no matter which side you're playing. And it feels very similar to play on both sides as well, because they are very similar. So we sit here, take some head glitches, and then sort of move around this little post here. I believe there is a hard point in this location here. This map was first featured in Black Ops 2, of course, which did add hard point, and this was one of the spots that was always the worst. Like, because you can chuck stuff, I mean, it is a little bit tricky. Like, you can chuck stuff through the roof here, so if you do find yourself on the hard point in here, it is a little bit tricky to hold this position because, I mean, that roof is open, and you can just chuck stuff through it, so that can be a little bit tricky to manage if you are sitting on here on the hard point. From the B flag, of course, if you are looking at it, this is very, very exposed. You'll expose from there, that angle there, these angles here, and those angles there as well. You can also be seen from the stairs there, and of course the little box. Just to show off that this is basically exactly the same on this side, the stairs are very similar as well. You will pretty much always see like claymores and betties and stuff like that, because people do love to snipe out of these windows because you do have such a clear vantage, of course, to the other side. Do keep in mind that the other window is blocked off by the big railway sign, so you're actually not able to snipe all the way across here, which is definitely intentional. Like, they don't really want people to just sit back here and snipe all the way over there. You can see the stairs back there, which people do sit on occasionally, but if you are looking to jump out of this window and then maybe shoot somebody on there, that is what you have to do if you want that shot, because that sign does block off that line of sight there. Similar to the other side, of course, we get these head glitch post-ups on these trash cans again. Map, as I said, is very symmetrical, so you'll see most of the same things on most parts of the map. This is a cool part. I mean, you look at here and you see a lot of open space. Like, there's another hard point down here, I believe, as well, which can be very difficult to control. There's also that resupply thing back here. You can hold this spot. I mean, this is, for the most part, I think, bulletproof glass. I mean, I can't really see bullets hitting through that. Oh no, it's not bulletproof. It's not bulletproof, actually. So yeah, if you are in here, you're gonna get shot. But yeah, you can mostly hold like decent positions around here. If people do come down the ramp, you can sort of hold it from back here, maybe the other side as well. But yeah, pretty much everything on this map is symmetrical, which is very, very cool. Like, it's probably the most symmetrical map that we've like seen. Essentially, you can just sort of post up in very, very similar positions on either side of the map, and they will, for the most part, work pretty interchangeably. You can, of course, come over the top here, jump up on this bad boy, and then jump up on here. This is really, you can see, I guess, over there. So if you want to, like, really expose yourself, you can sort of just, like, take shots from here, maybe guard that. That's not too bad of a line of sight because we do have the cover from that little box thing there, and similar on the other side. But for the most part, this isn't a super useful position. Like, it's nothing special, really, but it's important to keep that in mind. But really, there isn't an awful lot extra information to cover on this map. It is, for the most part, fairly simple. Like, you can, of course, jump up onto these positions here, jump up on here, and then get across to those high ground advantage spots there. But for the most part, as I said, this is fairly symmetrical, and it actually isn't too complicated. You can, of course, go in this train as well, come through the middle here, and as we mentioned, you can come through the back here, come onto this train. And the same thing applies to what we mentioned down there. If you do sit in this spot, people will usually just run past you without giving you a second thought, because most people do not check that spot there. So if you are sitting in here, this is a fairly good spot for letting people run past you, and then you just peek out, get a kill, and then move through forward onto the point. Maybe set up a nice little head glitch on this bad boy here, because this is a fairly powerful position. You can't really get shot out of here. They're only going to be able to see your head if you are sitting in this position. You are fairly exposed from the back, and then the sides as well. But if you are shooting people who are coming from this way, this is actually not a terrible position to fight from, especially if you are trying to defend the B flag. This does also apply here, and then you can jump back onto there as well. But keep in mind as well, I haven't mentioned this yet, the train actually does come through. I was on like an 8 kill streak yesterday, which is nothing special, but then I ran into the train. I'm like, oh yeah. So these dividers do actually come down here, and they open up the map, but then the train does come through, which does offer a little bit of protection from either direction, so you aren't getting it shot from those windows there if the train does come through and you're on the B flag. And it does kill you. If you get hit by the train, you will die. I mean, I don't think the train is going to trigger because we actually haven't participated in the map, but yeah, the train does come from this side and it comes all the way through and does kill you if you do get hit by it. So do not get hit by the train because it will end your life. But as I said, this is a really good map. Like, this is one of my favorite maps. I didn't even realize I wanted it so badly until I started playing it in Black Ops Cold War. It does feel a touch smaller, but that's to do with like the camera angles and the FOVs and stuff like that. I remember this map feeling way bigger back in the day. You can't even sit up here. You can't even sit up on these vending machines. That would be a bastard spot. Like, people walk out of there and you just spray them down. So you can stick like claymores and stuff along these walls, but for the most part, what I did find was that you can stick your your field upgrade equipment in fairly interesting positions. Most of the time, these hallways aren't super contested. Like, most of the time, you won't see loads of people coming in here. It's usually just designed to protect the people who are sitting up here sniping. So you can chuck like a field microphone or a jammer there. There's lots of spot on here. So I wouldn't stick anything on the track, but you can stick it like here. This is not a bad spot either, like in the corners there. People don't usually check there. So for the most part, there is loads of different positions that you can chuck your stuff down. You can even chuck your stuff on this particular ledge here, because people will come back here all the time. But really, you can just stick it in little corners like here, stuff where it actually just won't get noticed immediately, like straight away, where there is other stuff that looks fairly similar. So stuff like in here, maybe that corner there, this corner here, because people don't really check here. But yeah, don't stick it on the train track, because I'm pretty sure it's just going to get blown up immediately. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much all to cover on Express. There isn't too much that I've missed, I believe. If there is something that I've missed that is fairly significant, make sure you do leave a comment letting me know, and I will pin that comment, or I will make a pinned comment letting people know that that is very, very important. I love Express, man. It's such a well-designed, good-looking map. Like, I just love the vibe. I remember it looking bigger, but that was when the game was different. So if you do enjoy these type of videos, make sure you do let me know and leave a comment. Also subscribe if you are new around here and haven't done so already. It does very much help me out, and I massively appreciate it. We did recently hit 4,000 subscribers, which is super exciting, of course. So don't miss out on the next milestone or any videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, as I said, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!